Hello, David. It's Robert Dean Steele here, and wanted to chat with you again about another concept of prayer that I find absolutely fascinating and a little bit on the frustrating side. The reason I find it fascinating is how that God can answer the prayers of 7 billion people on the planet if he wants to. Secondly, I find it frustrating because it's never according to my timetable, David. It just never is. But there's this old song that we used to sing based on Isaiah 40:31. It says, "They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint." And then the last line of that song is, "Teach me, Lord, to wait." One of the things that we really always struggle with is waiting for his answers. And yet, the promise is that if we wait, we will basically soar above the situation, run and not be weary. And we will have all the promises. But sometimes it's really difficult to wait because the reality of the situation is, David, many of the things that we face at times are overwhelming and we don't know if we're going to make it through. And then this voice deep within us, of course that's the Holy Spirit speaking to us, says, don't worry, God's got it under control. Matthew 28:20 reminds us that he never leaves us, he never forsakes us. And that's where we need to wait for his answer. Kind of reminds me of a story where there was a man who was involved in a war. He was a commander of a battalion. And the only orders that he had from his general was wait and until relieved. Now, he was facing tremendous opposition. The enemy was coming against him. He was losing men all the time. And his men kept saying to him, "We're going to have to retreat. We're going to have to retreat." He says, "No." He says, "I have a promise from the command that we're to wait until we are relieved." Well, it looked like they were going to be overwhelmed. Then in the background, they heard the tanks coming. They heard as well all the trucks and things that were coming. Well, it was because he waited that his position was secure. And the general came in and said, "Did I not say that we were going to arrive in such and such a time?" He says, "Yes, you did, but you seemed a little bit late." He says, "You can rely and you can wait on the answer. The answer is coming." And isn't it wonderful to know that God has an answer and the answer's coming? But we sometimes have to wait. But there is the promise that they that wait upon the Lord shall be renewed in their strength. They shall mount up above the situation as an eagle. They will have God's perspective. God will be able to let us see that. We will run and not be weary. Isn't that wonderful? You can actually run through a situation and not be weary. You can walk and not faint. And that's a marvelous promise given from Isaiah. Isaiah, so many years ago, gave us that promise of prayer. But David, we have to wait. We have to wait for God's answer. God, as we talked about before, is never early. He's never late. He's always on time. But boy, can it be frustrating at times. Oh, well, you know what, David? We just put our trust in God. Well, David, thank you for spending some time with me. Have yourself a great day.